What's up, Node.js developers? Welcome back to a new live stream. And today we have a special Q&A session to answer all your burning questions. So real quick, what happened in the previous days? On Monday, we have launched and opened the doors for the full stack mobile developer course. And we did it here live on YouTube. And the response from the community was just mind-blowing to me. More than 100 people already joined the course and already started their journey to become a rockstar full stack mobile developer. So for everyone who has joined, welcome on board. Thank you very much for trusting me and for deciding to join the course. I'm pretty sure you will love it, and a lot of people already started working on it and sent me some messages that they are loving it so far. So thank you very much for everyone who is already there, and for everyone who has some questions and are still on the fence whether to join the course or not. Today I decided to do a Q&A and try to answer as many questions as possible that you might have. So I have prepared some questions that I received on my mail in a couple of weeks. But if you still have some questions, please let me know in the chat, and I'm going to get back to them once we go through these questions that I have prepared. So with that being said, I think we can get started. And yeah, let's see what was our first question. OK, I'm going to do it like this. So the first question is, OK, I'm a beginner. Will I manage to follow the course? And the answer there is mostly yes, but I'm going to get into more details now. So specifically for beginners, I divided the course into two separate projects, two individual projects that are like individual from each other. And the first one is the Duolingo clone. And actually, internally, we call it React Native 101, because the goal of this course is to get you up and running with React Native. So in that Duolingo course, we specifically target people who are just getting started with React Native. Maybe they have some experience with like React.js or JavaScript, but they are new to React Native. So in that course, we start from installing all the dependencies on your system, setting up all the environment, and then we get into the content, and we cover like all the fundamentals of React Native, including debugging, GSX, how to structure your application, how to write customizable components and reusable components, how to properly work with styling and build modern user interfaces. Yeah, we do all of this in a form also like with a project based. So first, like I might explain you how state works, and we go into depth like to actually understand how it works, not just to simply use it and know how to use it, but how everything and what's happening behind the scenes when we use it. So after we learn about state, we go ahead and implement it right away in our Duolingo clone. So you get this both sides of learning by understanding like how it actually works and mostly theory, and then you get this information that you learned and apply it in practice right away, right there. And this is actually better for you because you will learn these concepts, and you will retain the information for a longer period of time whenever you when you involve multiple ways of learning, being it theory and understanding like the concepts, and then right away implementing it in a real application. So yes. Yeah, after going through the Duolingo clone, you will be ready and you'll be confident and ready to start the Instagram clone, which is a bit more advanced. And in the Instagram clone, like I don't stop at all the fundamentals. Like I don't stop to explain like very in depth like state or props, because these things are explained very well in the Duolingo clone. So there is one but. that but is you still have to have some programming background and some somewhat good fundamentals to be able to follow through this course. If you have never written a line of code, or if you have never written like some code, being it a simple code like to in that case, like it's going to be hard for you to follow through, and probably this course is not for you. And yeah, like what I mean here, like fundamentals is like at least to know like what's a variable, what's a loop, how to define a function, what's a function. Some JavaScript background is very well appreciated because we are working a lot with JavaScript. So yeah, that's that. You still need some fundamentals in programming in general. But when it comes to React Native and also the Amplify, AWS Amplify, I don't assume that you have any knowledge. So we take it from the very beginning, and then we slowly move into the advanced stuff that we are covering there. All right. So John is asking me how much is the course. So the course, you can find out more information about it at academy.notjust.dev. So actually, I should add it here, academy.notjust.dev. So probably it's like this. So yeah, you can find more information about the course following this URL, academy.notjust.dev. And to answer your question, now the course is, the price of the course is $279, but for this batch only, and for up until 2nd of May, we have a 30% discount, and you can grab the course and save almost $100 on it. All right. So going on to the next question. So if you are a beginner, you know that you still can follow this course. But the question is, if I am an experienced React.js or maybe React Native developer, would I still benefit from this course? And the answer to these questions is definitely yes. I'm pretty confident that there will be a lot of new things that you will get out of this course, both on the front-end side and on the back-end side. In fact, we have a lot of students that are already working as a React.js or a React Native developer in their day-to-day job, and they decided to join the course to improve their back-end skills. And they said like it was very valuable to them, specifically for learning more about AWS and how to build these end-to-end full-stack applications. But as well, they found out a lot of new stuff when it comes to React Native. Actually, yesterday we had a stream. I joined AWS developer advocate Michael Yendo on Twitch. And we had a conversation with him. He actually is part of a batch 0. He was one of the first to join the course. And him being working at AWS and being an AWS advocate and working so closely with AWS, he said that he learned so many new things regarding AWS Amplify itself, like some things that he discovered here. So I think, like, no matter your experience, there will be a lot of things to learn from this course. We are going very much into depth, and we are covering quite advanced features there by the end of the course in the Instagram clone. And yeah, there will be a lot of things to learn there. Let's see. We're gonna go one question from the chat and one question from what I prepared. Hi, are those videos downloadable? As far as I know, they're not downloadable, but you can watch them both on your computer and on your mobile device. And they are yours to keep forever, so you'll have access to them forever. Okay, is it an offline course? The course is mostly based on pre-recorded videos, so it's very similar in the format of my YouTube videos, where we go in depth and work a lot with learning by building real world applications. But the difference from YouTube is that these are edited videos, so it's much more condensed. The information that I can deliver in the course, like in 1 hour on YouTube, would take like probably 3 hours, just because like I don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to see on the video how I install some packages, or how I wait to download something, or how I wait to publish some updates to Amplify. So the videos, the course is based on videos, and it's self-paced, which means that you can take your own time and follow it at your own pace. If you have more time, like that's perfect, like you can dedicate more time to it. However, if you have like a day-to-day job, like you can spend a couple of hours in the evening and sometime in the weekend to manage to keep up with the course. However, there will be some exclusive events, live events, specifically for the course members. But more about that, like I'm gonna let you know when it happens and when you join the course. Okay. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, we have someone who has already joined, professional account name. Only did the setup section so far, but it was well made. Will you integrate WebGL or 3D framework in your project in future? Most probably for this specific project that I have here, I'm not gonna go into these features. They are very, like niche. So yeah, most probably for Instagram and Duolingo, we're not gonna get into them. But maybe we will do something with it. We'll see. I have a questions that will answer your questions. I hope it's TypeScript, and otherwise I'll be super pissed. The good news is that nobody is going to be pissed, because we use both JavaScript and TypeScript. No, not in the same project. For the Duolingo clone, actually, let me get into that question. Regarding TypeScript and JavaScript, we are going to use both of them. For the Duolingo clone, I decided to use JavaScript because this clone is intended for beginners. But for the Instagram clone, we're going to use TypeScript. And let me get into a bit of details why I made this decision. So I always recommend beginners when they ask me if they should learn TypeScript or not. It depends on where are you in your journey. So if you are just starting out with, let's say, React Native, then I wouldn't recommend starting with TypeScript. I'd recommend sticking with JavaScript and learning React Native. Just focus all your energy on learning React Native, because there is still a lot of new things that you have to learn. So just by adding TypeScript to the mix, it will make it a bit more difficult. It will make the learning curve steeper, and it's going to be hard for you to follow through. However, after you have some good understanding of React Native, then it is almost a must to learn TypeScript, and I recommend everyone who are feeling comfortable with JavaScript and with React Native to start learning TypeScript, because it will change a lot for you. First of all, with TypeScript, you catch the bugs way earlier in the development process, right away when you write them, so you don't have to go through the process of testing everything, understanding that something is not working, and understanding that instead of a string, you send an integer. So it will help you write cleaner code. It will help you create this contract between services or functions or classes that will enforce some strict rules in your project, and that will actually improve the quality of the whole project overall. A lot of companies are using TypeScript, and this is for a reason, because yes, for small projects, for MVPs, JavaScript is fine. But as soon as you go out of this MVP phase and you're starting to actually build a real product, and the project grows inside, and especially when you're working with multiple team members at the same project, then TypeScript is a must, because you write a function, someone else is using it. When you wrote it, only you knew like what is the contract in that function, like what parameters does it expect, like what type of parameter, what it returns back. And when someone else tries to interact with your code, it requires more time for them to understand it, to properly send everything that the function needs. So at that time, like TypeScript is crucial. So for that reason, we are using TypeScript in the Instagram clone. Another problem with TypeScript is that, like, theoretically, TypeScript is quite simple. Like, everyone is saying, like, TypeScript is same JavaScript, only with types. Well, yes, but there are so many things about TypeScript that when you actually start using it into a real-world application, it very soon starts to become not that simple. Like when we get into things like generics or inheritance or types versus interfaces and so on, or the helper methods that exist there to, I don't know, create dynamically types. When we get into that things, like it becomes a bit confusing. So that's why, like, a lot of times, like when you follow a course like on TypeScript, like, yeah, you understand because we're showing there like quite simple stuff from TypeScript. But in our case, like we are using TypeScript in this project and we cover a lot of it. Basically, we work with it at every point in the course. We get into a lot of gotchas and a lot of things that we need to fix and to understand why we have to do it one way or another. And yeah, moreover, like whenever you work with libraries, let's say with a navigation library, like it's quite interesting and it's quite unique, like how you should type everything so that you have like the type safety for all the navigations, for all the routes, for all the screens. So we cover all of that in the course, and after taking it, like it's finally gonna click in your brain. And after you get used to TypeScript, whenever you write JavaScript, it feels a bit wrong. So that's my experience now. When I write JavaScript, like I don't feel secure. I don't know, like when I write a function that I don't specifically mention like the type of it and the type of parameters, like I feel something wrong might happen later. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Another one is, how many apps are we building in the course? In the course, we are building 2 applications. One is Duolingo, focused for beginners. It's only the front end with React Native. And the other one is a full stack Instagram clone. And this is actually the focus of the course. And probably 80% of the content is for the Instagram clone. And yeah, there we start with a couple of modules to cover all the front end, to build all the screens, to set up navigation and other important features there. Then we get into the backend, properly design and learn about how to build scalable, secure, and performant backend using AWS Amplify. And after that, like we test our application, we implement additional features like push notifications, following system, and finally we deploy it to production. And also we set CI/CD pipeline for it, so every time you do a change to your application, it automatically gets built and submitted to the stores. Oh, very good question. Joachim, I think you are already part of the course, yeah? I remember your name. So the question is, Apollo client works as a state management in the Instagram clone course. Yes, that's true. For in the Instagram, we are using Apollo client, which is a very popular library for querying a GraphQL API, but it also serves as a global state management because it caches all the data locally on your phone. So it's very performant. A lot of companies and applications that are working with a GraphQL API, they are using Apollo client on the front-end side to interact with it and also to cache the data. So yeah, I decided not to go with data store because data store has some limitations. I decided not to go with default GraphQL client from Amplify because that's not powerful enough. Like it just helps you query the server, but doesn't have like caching mechanism and other important features for building performant applications. And for that reason, I decided to use Apollo client, even though it may it required to cover it more in depth, like to explain Apollo, to set it up, and to it added a couple of videos to the course. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a very helpful addition to your skill set, because a lot of companies are actually using Apollo client. So let me, guys, please keep the questions rolling in. I'm going to get to them, to all of them. I'm going to go ahead and cover a couple of questions that I have prepared here, and then we can answer others there. So what happens if I get stuck or if I have questions? That's a great question. And specifically for this, we have a private exclusive community for all the course members. It's on our private website. It's not on Discord. And there you can ask questions whenever you get stuck. And I will come there. I'm always there to help you, to give you a suggestion, to help you solve any issues, bugs that you might encounter. As well, the community is very friendly, and in a lot of cases, everyone is helping each other. So you might get an answer from someone else that already went through these problems. And this is actually the thing that I encourage. I want to create a healthy community around the course where everyone can share the learnings, everyone can help each other. And also, I encourage people to go that extra mile that I'm always talking about. And when you do that, you'll definitely get into problems where you will need some advice from someone more experienced to help you understand like how to develop some features that you want to add to the builds. So in that case, like the community is a great place to ask these questions. I'm going to help you with suggestions. I'm going to, sometimes I can also review some of your code. So yeah, our community is there to exchange information and help each other. All right. React Native CLI or Expo? Okay, this is a good question. And we are covering both. The same way as we're covering JavaScript and TypeScript, because they are both important in different situations and in a different time frame of your career. The same goes with React Native CLI and Expo. They are both important and they're both good for specific use cases. And for that reason, I dedicated Duolingo clone to be built with Expo. And for the Instagram clone, we are building it with React Native CLI because we're getting into more features. And I wanted to give you this experience of building applications with React Native CLI as well. However, for the Instagram clone, we are actually using some of the tools from the Expo ecosystem, even though we are working with React Native CLI. For example, we are using Expo application services to help us build and deploy our React Native application. So we are getting into a lot of these important tools that are crucial to know and to understand as a full stack developer. All right. The next question, JavaScript or TypeScript, we've already covered that. And the next question is, I received a lot of questions, like I couldn't combine them all together in one. But the questions were, do we cover push notifications? Or do we cover deploying it to market? Do we cover testing? And the answer to all of this is yes, we are covering this in the course. And we have individual modules for all of these things that were listed here. For full transparency as well, you can see it on the website. These three modules that I have here, they're not ready yet, but they are. I'm working at the moment at them. So until you reach that point, because there are more than 30 hours of content, so until you reach that point, most probably they will be ready. So the next module, which will cover the whole production and preparing your application for production, is actually already filmed, and now we are editing it. So it's going to be published like during the next weeks. And in that module for preparing your application for production, we're covering a lot of things. We are starting the module with preparing all the marketing assets and all the things that you will need to have a successful listing on Play Store and App Store. Here I'm talking about title descriptions, screenshots, which are very important for having a successful page there, all the tags and all the necessary stuff there. After that, we are covering how we can set up multi-environments with our Amplify backend, so that we, whenever we do changes to our Amplify backend, which are definitely going to come in your experience, in your experience as a developer, after you first time publish your application, you definitely will do changes later on. So whenever you do these changes on the backend, you don't want to work with a production infrastructure, with a production data, because you might delete it, you might break it, and a lot of bad things can happen. And for that reason, we are separating our backend in 3 environments for staging, testing, and production. And we are connecting them properly with our GitHub branches, and we are setting this system up where any feature gets from one stage, it's being tested, moves to another one, being tested, moves to the last one, and is available for the users. So this is one part of a production. Then we get into the building our application, our React Native application, and after that, we get into deploying the application to Play Store and to App Store. After that, at the end of that module, we are covering how to automate all of these steps. So whenever we do some changes, everything happens automatically without our manual inputs. So this is quite a big module. I'm pretty sure you'll love it, and it's gonna help you not only for this project, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to deploy this project because it's Instagram and it's used for learning purposes only. But it's going to be crucial whenever you are ready to deploy your application that you are going to build after taking this course. And it's going to help you publish that application to the store with all the best practices and set up all this system to properly do it. All right, so I'm going to take a couple of more questions. Let's see. From the live chat. What language are you using to build? We are using JavaScript and TypeScript. JavaScript in Duolingo project, TypeScript in Instagram project. Hey, hello, dude. You are the best programmer. I love your Amazon clone project. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I'm pretty sure you love even more the course, the premium course that we are launching this week. Let's go, Amar Nav. I will take the course. Amazing. Let's see. And how many people already joined today? My question, okay. This question is not related to the course, but it's quite an easy answer. Like if your application needs native modules, and also if those native modules are not supported by Expo, because now some libraries have support for Expo, you should check that out first. But if you know for sure that they are not supported, then I recommend starting with React Native CLI. It's you're gonna have a bit cleaner application by the end. And also you can use a lot of Expo libraries in your React Native CLI project, like if you need. That's what we are doing with the Instagram clone. We are building it with React Native CLI, but we are using some of the powerful tools from the Expo ecosystem, such as Expo application services that helps us build and deploy the application. Is there a messaging feature on the course? I cannot find it. At the moment, we don't have a messaging module planned for the course, but this is something that I'm getting asked a lot, so maybe we will add it in future. We covered like messaging very into depth, so we'll see. Hey, I can't log into the private community. Can you please send me an email? I'm gonna try to help you. If the password that I sent you is not working, just go through the forgot password flow and reset it, and for a lot of people this worked. Will you use Mongo on the course? No, we're not using Mongo. For that database, we are using DynamoDB. And this is the database that is behind like Amplify API module. So DynamoDB is super fast, it's super effective. Like it guarantees like single-digit millisecond responses for any size of a database. So being it like 10,000 records or millions of records in your database, DynamoDB ensures that you'll have like single digits millisecond response, which is mind-blowing. So yeah, we are using that in our course. Will you be adding other projects clone in the future? Cannot answer these questions at this moment, but most probably I would say no. We will add more modules and features and updates to these two clones that we have for the Duolingo and Instagram. And I will try to cover as many features, as many systems, as many things that you must know, but within a single project. Because for the premium course that we are doing there, I would rather have like one single applications that is really in depth, like covers everything, doesn't skip through some features, doesn't like show only like how you can create something but doesn't show how to delete, or like I don't want to do that. I would rather have like one very complete, very in-depth course that will help you actually understand how to build this complex application from start to end. So most probably we're going to add more modules to the existing clones, and yeah. Thanks for the information. Thank you very much. And Sokosawa, thank you very much for joining. You are already a member. Did you manage to get into the platform? Did you start watching the course? I'm pretty interested on your feedback. Hello, Vadim. Will you create a MERN stack course? I don't have it planned for now. My comment not visible. What do we have to do to make a responsive application from different device sizes? Well, we need to use relative sizes for our layouts. Instead of writing like with 300 pixels and seeing that it looks good on your phone, you should work with relative sizes for these big layouts components. So in that case, like it will shrink or it will expand depending on the screen size. But to support like other, let's say, tablet views with changing completely the layout, in that case, like we would have to work with some conditionals. We would have to check like what platform the application is working on. But that's only for very huge layout changes on screen sizes. So let me cover a couple of other questions that I have here. Will we cover security? This was a question that was brought up a lot of times. Yes, we will cover security. And here like security is a very important part of developing applications, real-world applications that you can deploy to users, because it's very important. Yeah, when it comes to the course, like we are covering about, first of all, when we get started with Amplify, we have a special tutorial on how to set up your account based on the best practices when it comes to security. Like we are not gonna use we're not gonna log in from the root account, we're gonna create separate accounts, we're gonna secure them properly so that if in any case, if you lose access to one of them, like you still have access to the root account, which should be the most protected one. So we're covering a lot on the security there. And also we cover things like setting up budgets and setting up alarms so that you prevent unexpected bills from AWS. Everything that we're going to use in the course is covered by the free tier, and you're not going to be charged. But this is a good practice to set up in your account whenever you get started with AWS, in order not to have some unexpected situations happening, and to know about them as soon as they happen, so you can take actions. Then, when it comes to securing our data, securing our application, like when it comes to Amplify will cover most of the security for ourselves, and this is the advantage of using Amplify over building a backend ourselves. But there is still a lot of responsibility on us developers to take advantage of the security measures that Amplify have here and to properly use them. So for that reason, like we have separate lessons on how to secure your data, how to implement authorization rules for your models, or even like very atomic authorization rules, not on whole tables, but only on specific fields. One example I can give you here, like we look how we can implement security measure so that the emails of all the users will never be leaked to the outside. So this information, like you can query all the data about the user, but you cannot query the email because that's an important part of it. So yeah, we're covering a lot about that as well. And going to the next questions. Is this a subscription or a one-time payment? Short answer is this is a one-time payment, and also you will have access to this course forever. So you pay now once, and then it's yours to keep and to follow at your own pace. Will the course be updated over time? Yes, I already covered that. The course is going to be updated over time, and we have like already 3 modules that are coming soon. I'm working at them right now. And in future, based on the feedback that I get from the community, from the course members, we might add even new modules to the existing projects. And you're going to receive these updates for free by default. Okay, let me see some questions from the live chat. What backend framework do you use in the course? For the backend, we are using AWS Amplify, which, if you follow my channel on YouTube, like you know the power of AWS Amplify and what can be built with it. Flutter or React Native? React Native, yes, React Native. So Marcus is asking, how does Amplify compare to using Node or Rails or something more traditional? So Amplify is, in short, a set of tools that are intended for front-end and mobile developers to help them build backend infrastructures using AWS, basically on AWS. And behind the scenes, Amplify is just bridging towards a lot of services that already exist on AWS. Let's say AWS Cognito for authentication. So with Amplify, you simply connect to that Cognito, and it manages setting it up, spinning it up, setting it everything up for you. And then you can simply implement authentication in a couple of lines of code, and you don't have to do everything yourself. So I would say that it's a low-code solution for backends, but it doesn't stop there. It gives you a lot of flexibility and a lot of extensibility. Whenever you need to do something very custom, you can do that with Amplify. So in short, Amplify helps you implement all the most important features when it comes to the backend of an application. Here I'm talking authentication, here I'm talking API, and it supports both REST API and GraphQL API. In the course, of course, we're going to use GraphQL API. It supports storage for media files, it supports analytics, it supports push notifications, it supports a lot of services, more specific. But these are the main services that we are probably going to use in any application. Okay. Is the course pre-recorded or live like Uber Eats? The course is pre-recorded and you can follow it at your own pace, but we're going to have some live events in specifically for the course members. So let's see what other questions I have here. Is there a refund policy? Yes, I'm so sure that you will love this course, but I decided to add a 14 days money back guarantee. And if you are not satisfied with a course, or it's not something that you expected, or maybe it's too hard for you or too easy for you, then in 14 days after your purchase, you can write me an email and I will refund you 100%, no questions asked. Maybe I will ask you questions like why, what made you make this decision, but the refund is going to happen. Actually, a very funny story happened yesterday. Someone asked for a refund. They asked for a refund, and I refunded them the money in the next 2 minutes that they asked. And I see today they joined back. So that means that they decided that actually it was a good purchase, and I want to get back into it. So yeah, that's also possible. Right. So the last questions, probably the last. Yes, the last questions I have received a lot is, I can't afford the course, or can I pay in installments or get a special discount for it? Regarding the paying in installments and also the PPP, I didn't have the time to set it up with the platform that I am using. So for that reasons, for this batch, unfortunately, it's not possible to pay in installments. And for the future launches, whenever we will do them, I will try to do it. I cannot promise at this moment, so don't take my word for it. But I'm gonna try to set up these things from the platform that I'm using for the sales. So yeah. And also about special discounts. I really do understand, and I do recognize that this course is quite pricey for a lot of people. But unfortunately, I'm not able to give special discounts to someone, because that would be quite unfair in comparison to other people that already joined the course with a full price. So yeah, the thing is that I don't want this to stop you from learning and becoming a full stack developer. I have a lot of free tutorials on YouTube, and we are not planning to stop on posting free content on YouTube. So there is a lot of things available on the internet for completely free, and I'm pretty sure that if you are dedicated and motivated, you can learn a lot from the free resources that we have on our channel. And actually, I received during the last week a lot of comments and a lot of messages that after following some of the projects from our channel, people managed to get a job as a developer, and now they are earning a developer salary. And yeah, I think that this is possible, and it's up to you to decide. If you're really dedicated to this, you will make it happen with the free content that is available out there. So yeah, we're going to continue to publish free content so that everyone has the opportunity to learn and to become a full stack mobile developer. All right. So let's see our questions. Yes, will we be working with analytics? Yes, we're going to cover analytics as well. This is an exciting module. It's quite easy to implement it with Amplify, but as well, it's very important to implement analytics in your application as soon as possible. Even analytics is something that I would implement even before implementing features like push notifications, because you need to know what's happening with your application from the day one in order to take informed decisions. So yeah, analytics will be there. Nigel, you can write me an email and I'm going to get back to you with the first availability for beginners. For YouTube, your YouTube videos are great. What differentiates your free course from a paid course? Amazing question. The short answer is the scope. And yeah, the long answer is the amount of things and amount of features and system that we are teaching in the course is 10 times more than the things that I managed to teach on YouTube. So in the course, we are really getting down and getting deep into the features that we are implementing. Like on YouTube, I will give you a couple of examples to better explain my point. But on YouTube, I don't have that amount of time to be able to get into depth, because we are doing this live stream and it takes a lot of time to do everything live. And for that reason, we are covering only the most important concepts. But when it comes to building an application that is ready for production and is ready to scale to millions of users, there is more that comes to it. For example, a very simple feature that is just 1% of a course is things like pagination, sorting, filtering. These are crucial things for your applications, but we never covered them properly in YouTube tutorials. So in YouTube tutorials, yes, things work, even without pagination, let's say. But once a lot of people will start posting a lot of things, your application will load slowly and will not load all the content inside. So for that reason, you need to take extra steps to implement proper pagination or sorting or filtering or aggregation. And here I'm talking only about a couple of features when it comes to querying the API. But all the core modules, they go way more in depth in the course. The same way goes for authentication. On YouTube, we saw how to implement the out-of-the-box authentication that is coming from Amplify. In the course, we start with out-of-the-box authentication that is coming from Amplify, which you can integrate in probably 2 or 3 minutes. But when we get to the next step to see how we can customize the authentication screens with custom theming, then we take it even a step further and see how to build our custom own user interface and connect it to the authentication module. And then we take it even one step further and see how to implement authentication with social providers, like sign in with Google, sign in with Facebook. We're doing that in the course. And the next level we also do where we see how to integrate Lambda triggers. So every time a user signs up in your application, we trigger a function that will do something in the backend. So this is just about the authentication and just the extra things here. But we have like complete modules that we never covered on YouTube, like implementing a following system. This is quite an advanced thing. And when I first implemented a following and a feed system in my startup a couple of years ago, I was looking on the internet and I couldn't find anything related to this on how to create an efficient mechanism of following, how to design the database to keep track of the followings, how to create the feed that will display only posts from your followers. So these are quite advanced things that we're not covering on YouTube, but we do cover in the course. Okay, so Samuel is saying, I'm just joining. Please, can you brief me on the description and details? What are we building? Price, etc. So real quick, we are launching our full stack mobile developer course, and more information about this you can find at academy.notjust.dev. And today I'm covering the most important, like the most frequently asked questions that I received throughout this week. So yeah, you might be able to, this video is going to be posted, so you'll be able to watch it from the beginning till the end. When it comes to, no, this one I already answered. Yeah, like real quick, the price for the course is $279, but for this batch only, for batch one, we have a 30% discount, so you can join now and save almost $100. So yeah, take the advantage of a reduced price right now. Sounds like you're using the camera mic instead of that Rode mic. What? No, I think it's from the mic. I don't know. I'll double check to see what's wrong with the sounds. Sound test. All right, guys, so I think that we covered all the important questions. I'm pretty happy to see everyone who is joining, even now during the live stream. Jose Fernandez, thank you very much for joining. Urmil Shah, thank you. Warren Marcus Brown, thank you. Niam Maden, thank you very much. And other people that have been joining during the past days. So guys, if you want to know more details about the full stack mobile developer course, you can find it following the link here on the screen, academy.notjust.dev. If you have still any questions or are in doubt on the fence whether to join or not, drop me a message and I'm gonna try to answer your questions if you still have any. And yeah, thank you very much for being here today with me, and we're going to see each other probably on Friday. We're going to do another live stream. And from the next week, we are starting our projects here on YouTube as well. So thank you very much. Take care, stay hydrated, and write clean code. Bye-bye, guys.